Right then, big dog, let's get this show on the road. And well done on getting your pictures over to me today so that I could finalize plans and get them out to yourself today, because that's what we wanted, so that we are a-okay for tomorrow. Now, in this little video, I'm going to walk you through everything. So what we're doing in this initial phase, why we're doing it. We're talking about your training, your nutrition, your habits, what I want from yourself, and basically just hopefully leave you with no questions and no stone unturned. But if you do have any questions afterwards, simply fire me a message straight away and I'll add some more clarity onto that. Now, first things first, well done on getting these over, because it shows that, as I thought, that you are a man who has been training for a fair few years, that has got some muscle maturity behind him. We've got a frame, mate. We've got a frame. Okay, we've got a frame in which we can really press hard and press home with and really carve out a physique. But what we need to do, so obviously to be in that position, is to take away some of the non-lean tissue, i.e. some of the fat, off of this frame, and let's see what we're left with underneath. Okay, obviously, like we said, with an 8-week time frame now, we want to get harsh, we want to get aggressive, and we want to take off as much non-lean tissue fat off this frame as physically possible and really ignite it, mate. Because once we do that, this back shot will come to life. You've got an incredible back. You've got a good back. Hats off. If I was wearing a hat, it'd come off to you now, dude. But we just want to see it. We want to see it, and we need to get rid of this non-lean tissue around sort of the midsection, around the chest, and let's bring it to life. Okay, dude? But we will do that. I absolutely guarantee that. Okay. So now what we're going to place you in right now is called what I like to call the priming phase. You smashed your onboarding phase. Well done, Ace. Now we're going to go into priming phase. Now you will see on your app that this is the way that this 8 weeks set out. It's set up out into 4 stages. So you've got a priming phase, a performance phase, which is going to be split into 2 sections, and then accelerate towards the back end. But today, all we need to talk about is the priming phase. Now, this is just basically going to get you into a position where we're laying the foundations when it comes to your training, your nutrition, your adherence, obviously, to both of those factors, your adherence when it comes to your output as far as your cardio-wise, but also getting you into a habit of tracking and being accountable and being coachable, which is the biggest thing, and also communicating with myself or with Tom, and just making sure that we're in the best physical place to make those adaptations, those changes to the body as we go along this phase, okay? Now, let's talk about the exciting stuff. Training. What have I set up for yourself, dude? Now, I've popped you on a 4-day split because I like to start guys off on the low end, sort of the minimal effective dose when it comes to obviously growth, stimulation, and obviously adaptation within the body. So I put you on a push, pull, lower, upper split. Okay, push obviously is going to incorporate your chest, your shoulders, your medial delts, your triceps, and you've also got a little bit of I've also put some biceps in there as well, because you can never have too much biceps. But also, I like to put biceps on a push day because you'd be heavily taxed on a pull day, especially with all the rowing you're doing. So there's a good chance to put some frequency through there. And also, you'll see on your leg day, you've also got some tricep work in there as well, because we can never have too much arms. And from when you look at your side profile, the tricep, we can really bring up that tricep and really bring about the commanding 3D look as well, with the delts, triceps, the full works coming in. Okay. Now, if I've ever got too excited while putting together your program, in your upper day as well, which is your full upper, really hammer in, smash home hard on this. If I've put things on here which your gym doesn't have, like I wasn't quite sure if I had a loaded pull down or not. If it doesn't, let me know straight away, and I will change those. But if there's anything in here as well which doesn't go with the mechanics of your body, obviously I'm going to be learning the mechanics of your body as we go along. You just let me know straight away, and I will alter those as we see fit. Now, everything on here has a rep range, it has a set count, it has a tempo, and it has a set type as well. So on these ones, just say failure, but these will become more apparent as we go on, because I will be introducing things like muscle rounds, rest pauses, giant sets, drop sets, all the good stuff. And you've also got rest times on here. I've just put generic rest times in here, which I see fit for like isolation work and heavy compound work. If you feel fresh enough to go before your rest time is up, you obviously go. But if you don't feel fresh enough as well, you just sort of learn off your body, sort of go with the flow. There's no sort of like directs. These are the musts. They're just guidelines. Okay. The same goes with, obviously, with rep ranges as well. I want you to find weights in which you fail at these numbers. You are not going to know where you fail at. So the first few weeks, try and set true baseline numbers in which are actually where you sit at. Only because after working with hundreds of guys, I just know that the first session you go in, you try and go hell for leather, smash out weights in which you're not capable of. And then when I go into your programming and I watch it week to week, and suddenly your training performance is dipping down, it's because you just went in that first week and lifted what we couldn't lift. And then I'm thinking, right, do we need to pull down volume? Do we need to change the programming? So just set true baseline numbers, which we can progress week to week and go from there. But if there's anything you want, any more clarification as far as your training wise, you let me know straight away. And also, if you want to send over videos of your training, you go for that, because I'm absolutely all for that, dude. Now, nutrition. I've set you up on 1703, okay, around about that market. We call it 17.3s, okay. So what I'd like you to do here is I'd like you to input this either into a MyFitnessPal, and you can check anything you are tracking utilizing to track your food from the off. But if you don't want to do that, I've also set up your meals, sort of meal macro by meal as well. So you said you don't usually like to have a wake up and eat, so I've actually just put like a shake in there for you. A mid-morning meal, you said it was a bit of a larger one because your meal time is on the consultation sheet a bit skewed, and then I popped in a snack of 225, and then a big evening meal off the back of that as well. But feel free to absolutely switch this up. You might want to go 3 larger meals, and then, like you say, that's all you want to do. But as long as we're hitting the protein target, that is what I'm focusing on. Protein to focus, and then get your calories as well. So don't obviously try and bring up your protein to sky high, and then obviously realize that you've gone on to sort of 18, 19, 2,000 calories worth of food just to hit that protein target. You probably think this is quite aggressive, but this is what's needed in this sort of in time frame, in the frame that we have, obviously the time frame. But also, I want to see a quick adaptation from the start. Whereas someone else, if you come in for coaching wise, we may set you up on a primary phase. It might last 4 weeks, and I might be putting more and more food into you to get your body into a place where we can drop the food. We don't have that time, so this is going to be a sharp, short burst from the off. Okay. But also, by having it slightly lower, it allows for a slight skews when it comes to sort of tracking, or if we do have social occasions coming up, then that's obviously a factor. Now, what I've done here is I've actually, obviously you said you don't really like to have too much when you wake up, so I've just put 1 meal in there. But everything else, I've actually given you some options and some ideas about meals and what you can sort of mix things up with as well, dude. I've just gone off your sheet of sort of what meals you like to go with. So I've literally created options across the whole board, apart from like literally just giving you some insight as to what I would eat, what I would do. We've got snacks wise. So just have a little play around, dude. All these will come in 100 grams or 100 milliliters, or they might come in serving size. So they might deem I say a packet of rice, or say serving will be half a bag. If it's got 1 in the box, it's obviously half bag. If it's got 2 in the box, it'd be 2. It'd be a bag full. Okay. We do need to get into the habit of obviously tracking accurately, simply because if we are, say, eyeballing a lot of things, then we don't know whether we're actually getting the data to hand that I need. And then obviously for me to make changes to nutrition going forward, I need to know what's going in. So we need to get used to tracking accurately and going from there, dude. But also on this note as well, anything that we are tracking when it comes to things like pasta, oats, rice, more meats, all need to be tracked raw weight rather than a post, simply because two versions of cooking rice, you might use double the amount of water. You might soak up more water. It's going to add volume and going to add weight to obviously that product. Okay, so weigh it out raw, and so we've got consistent weight going forward. But we've got it all covered, dude. So we've got loads of different options for you. You may want to use these, you may not. Okay, but you will notice that all the options have slightly different calories. So obviously, if you pick say 3 or 4 options that are higher calories, they will then bring you out of that deficit and push your calories higher. So the options you choose, try and align them within that 1700 marker. Okay, and you'll be absolutely sweet. Okay, but again, Rome wasn't built in a day, and anything you need as far as nutrition, you just shout straight away, dude. Supplementation, I popped you on a sort of a standard protocol, which I see fit for a lot of guys. Vitamin D, vitamin K2 for health, omegas for health, sleep and recovery, I see massive benefits from ashwagandha. I also lion's mane. I'm a big lion's mane man. Curcumin for anti-inflammatory values within the body, magnesium to help sleep. But if we have any more issues, like things like taurine or can come in for cramping, anything else that comes up about, we can obviously look at. I also want to increase your creatine to. I did initially put it to 5, but then looking at your physique, we can get away with 10. But also by going into 10, we get the cognitive benefits of creatine as well, alongside obviously the physical benefits, and it won't do any harm just to increase it slightly, buddy. Now, activity-wise, I've set you up pretty basic, okay, because we will be riding this up, pardon the pun, if we use an exercise bike, but we will be riding this up as the weeks go along. So training day, I want to start off at 8,000 steps. Rest day, I want to start at 10,000 steps. So training when you're in the gym, 8,000, 10,000 when you're not in the gym. Cardio wise, I'm going to start you off pre or post. I personally would go post workout on this just to preserve my energy for my actual physical training, my weight and resistance training, and just 10 minutes. Pick any equipment you want to do and hit 10 minutes worth. However, if you want to utilize this to get in the gym, get in the right headspace, maybe a bit of aggression, you can put it pre. I would also like you to factor in 30 minutes of cardio outside of the gym or even in the gym, because you remember on your sheet you popped in the fact that you would like to go to a class or whatnot. We can do that, or we could go out for a run. We can go out on a bike. We could literally just go for a fast-paced power walk. Any form of cardio that gets your heart rate up, 30 minutes, I'd like that alongside your training and your cardio goals going forward, buddy. Now, recovery, as you see on here, you already started doing it. That's absolutely ace. This is what you'll be doing every single day. So you'll be putting in sleep time, your sleep quality, your muscle, your energy levels, and then you'll be also factoring in your daily habits that I want you to achieve. Now, daily check-in, you've already started doing it. So it's ace, you box that off. Your tracked nutrition, you will be doing that. Focus on your protein intake. Again, like I said, that'll be your driver, but again, not at the expense of your overall calories. So start off with drinking 3 liters of water. I will be riding this up once we've got the adherence on this, because it's something a lot of guys struggle with. But again, we want to see it getting done, and it may need to increase. Obviously, the weather's getting nicer outside, so we may need to bring in some electrolytes if we are starting to cramp up as well. Depending on what time of the day we're training as well. If we're training faster in the morning, then we're bringing some electrolytes into that as well. Increasing step count, increasing your obviously expenditure, sticking to a bedtime is going to be in there as well. I know you're thinking, what on earth, sticking to a bedtime? It's mainly because I see a lot of my guys that do not have a bedtime sort of installed in their mind, and then, like you said, they go to bed at 11 one day, next day it's 12, then it's 10. We want to consolidate that time in bed. So even in the back of your head, you think, right, okay, I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning at 6:30, therefore I want to be in bed by 10 o'clock so I can try and get that 8 hours in. It seems pretty basic, but for it does seem a massive difference in, like, say, if you're getting 5 hours sleep, your performance in the gym is going to suck, your mood, your energy, your hunger levels are going to spike. So if we can control the variable by putting you to bed and getting you some good quality sleep, everything will come into line. Last thing I want to speak to you about is check-ins. You will be doing daily check-ins, dude. So, like, obviously, giving me all that data feedback, your daily weight, obviously the sleep metrics, the recovery variabilities. But every Friday, you'll be prompted on this app to give me a check-in form. Okay, so what you will do there is you'll simply upload your pictures like you did today on Friday, and you will simply submit the form by filling it out, giving me some data to go off, and I will go into the data that you've got to hand on the app, and I will give you a little bit of a video just like this one here, reviewing your week and obviously the changes that need to be made going forward, dude. But like I said, it's a lot to take in over sort of 13 minutes. If you've got any questions after this, just fire it over, mate.